surrender. I will do my best until I get put under. What if I go stronger? 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 What if I go you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Oh yeah. Take you like a pill. Can I feel you like a pill to get my fill. No, do me in the worst way. Don't let me sleep, never say you're sorry. Oh, maybe I'll leave, baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Oh yeah. Take you like a pill. Get my fill.
Good evening, everybody. Here, Element Bobby from Element Gaming. Oh, jeez, I cannot speak at all. So, we are getting into the first game of the day. We are following the Go4Lol ESL tournament number 341. We're at crazy numbers here. It has been a while since the Go4Lol have been ongoing, and everybody is quite excited because recently there is a lot of activity, especially from Italian teams. And yeah, personally, I love to see a lot of Italian teams around. And yeah, let's get into the first game we're gonna follow today. It's gonna be the Italian Bashers against the 5-minute team. It's going to be a pretty interesting game. We already saw during the preparation of the room, or at least I saw during the preparation of the room, that both teams are pretty much equal, or at least the 5-minute team is composed by a lot of diamonds. Between 5 and 3, while the team, the Italian Bashers, it's all between platinum and diamond. I surely do not favor the Italian team, and I do not favor the 5 minutes because they are full diamond, because I do trust that everything that matters is the experience of the team. I do not know any of them, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna be following them to see how the game is gonna be played, in order, obviously, to try to explain you how they're gonna make certain decision and why. Let's get into the pick and ban phase. The first bans we already see are Graves and Ivern on the Italian Basher side. Ivern has been pretty much banned a lot recently, mostly because his overall control, the card controlling, it's pretty much strong enough to be able to change the sides of the early game. What I do mean is that even if Ivern ultimate Betty has been Daisy, sorry, not Betsy. Jeez. Even if Daisy has been nerfed a lot, there is still a lot of crowd control that even himself is able to create that makes him so difficult to play against. Then we have Graves banned as well. Graves is obviously a normal ban recently because his overall damage is so much that it's useless to even try to fight him off in a team fight, or at least obviously not at close range. So in order to be able to fight properly, a lot of teams ban him because they do not love the area damage that this champion is able to do. Queen is another ban, and this one is a pretty particular one. Why so? Because Queen has been played a lot recently only because her ultimate makes her able to be a top laner that doesn't need teleport, because she can get anywhere instantly. Her movement speed is so much powerful, or mostly it's so much that in the overall it's just useless to play a teleport. It's like having a permanent package like a Corki with movement speed boosts. So in the overall, it's basically useless to pick a teleport with her, and she can still play in the top lane pretty easily. I think recently seen a cannon in the LCS playing full damage. You think, why would I pick Queen over the cannon? Cannon has a pretty good in team fight engages. So why would I pick Queen? It's simple, because as soon as she reaches level 6, she becomes able to roam every single lane instantly. So if you are a Queen spammer, or at least if you are a hard engager, if you love to engage enemies around and randomly, it's like playing a Sion, only that you rush every single time you play her. Then, let's go into the other bans that we see: Katarina, Kha'Zix, and Nautilus. Katarina and Kha'Zix are normal bans recently because Katarina has been played a lot after the rework. Kha'Zix, well, his damage is so much. And then Nautilus. Nautilus is usually banned by those teams that do not love to see a lot of crowd control. And in this case, I guess that a Nautilus was a pretty nice idea, especially because looking at their picks, a Nautilus, it's one of those few able to shut down or at least slow down a lot of Ezreal. And, well, nice ban their decision, I guess. It depends on who else they're gonna pick. Let's go into the picks. Starting off from the Italian Bashers on the left side. Hecarim, Thresh, and Cannon. I'm pretty much interested to see where Cannon is gonna play, because it might be the Cannon I spoke about a few seconds ago. A top lane Cannon that plays full AD damage based off the enemy health. Not entirely sure, but we're gonna see it right now since the other two picks are gonna get taken. The starting picks for the blue team, sorry, for the red team on the right side. The 5-mana team is gonna play Ezreal, Malzahar, Orianna, and Rengar. Ezreal is a pretty interesting pick. Not too much played recently because of his being over damaged by a lot of champions, especially Varus, and Caitlyn as well came recently back, but not too much. Still, Ezreal went down a little. I'm not sure how good this pick will be, but we're gonna see pretty soon. We see a Malzahar there. A Malzahar that is probably going to be the support of this Ezreal. It's a pretty good pick as well. Spammed a lot this Malzahar. Void Link's damage is pretty huge, so the decision of picking him obviously is pretty great. Then we get an Orianna and a Rengar. Orianna and Rengar, pretty good combo. Everybody know that the shockwaves are gonna rain down like there is no tomorrow. So the other picks. Oh, we lost someone. Still, we saw Shen and a Misfortune. Allow me. All right. Oh, see. Damn. Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna. I'm gonna lock the stream for a second. Sorry, I'm gonna lock the visual for a second while they pick back all the champions. I will say on the blue team, they picked Misfortune and Shen. Misfortune was reworked in this last patch, where her Q bounce cannot deal that much damage anymore, but can crit. And this is an important change. Misfortune hasn't been playing too much as AD carry simply because her overall damage was focused on abilities more than basic attacks, and this is why she was not an AD carry for a while. Now, this change could have brought her back into this type of playing, but there is still a lot of things that makes her more useful as full AD, not AD carry still. So no crits and no attack speed. Because her ultimate still stacks a lot on the mage and such. It's really important to focus on what she can actually do more than what she could do. Like, the fact that her Q bounce now can crit might be a pretty interesting thing for AD carries. But, well, who knows? By the way, Shen was the top lane pick for the blue team, the Italian Bashers, that is going to play against someone that was not picked yet, because we saw Orianna, Rengar, and Malzahar in the Zreal, but not yet the top laner. On the blue side, we have an Hecarim as well that I didn't talk about. Hecarim, it's one of those champions that is still into the meta because it's way different from a lot of other champions that play as jungler, especially now, like Rengar and Kha'Zix, that are usually those two picked for junglers in a lot of competitive games. Hecarim still makes a difference when it comes to hard engaging, but it depends a lot on how you play him, especially in the early game, because an Hecarim can deal a lot of damage indeed, but tends to become a little useless when it comes to the late game, because the fact that he goes a lot on the damage at the start then makes him become an easy target in the late game. At the same time, alright, I guess. Didn't they pick Shen by the top lane? Alright, I am not entirely sure what is this about, but still they didn't pick Shen, but they picked Victor. And they picked Shen, or at least I'm not entirely sure if they are gonna pick Shen, or if I messed up and I saw Shen on the left side and he was actually on the right. Well, let's change things up then. We have a cannon top that is gonna play the probably AD cannon, as I was speaking about before. The AD cannon is not an AD carry, as a lot of players try to do in solo ranked. It's mostly full AD damage, going with a lot of BF sword things, but the Infinity Edge. There is to say that this type of cannon becomes pretty much painful in the mid game when she can combine a lot of her base magic damage with the overall AD damage that her basic attacks can do. In the late game, might become a little less powerful because she cannot deal as much damage as a normal AD carry. She can only focus on throwing some basic attacks around, trying to slow down the enemy, trying to land some crowd control. And there is to say that after the cannon's rework on the ultimate, or at least the cannon's patch on the ultimate that made the lightning come down faster. So in a few words, there is a higher lightning's ratio. She literally can stun you two times in a row in a matter of seconds. And this is why her ultimate is so powerful, and at the same time she's not played as AP, because her damage on the ultimate has been a little nerfed. And this is why they play her as AD and not AP, so that the base damage can still land, and she can deal a lot of damage with basic attacks while the enemy is stunned for a while. I really am interested to see this matchup by the top lane, because I used to play, or at least I still play, a lot of Shen. And Shen is a really powerful tanky champion. And it's pretty strong against the cannon, especially now that the cannon is going to play as full AD. The new Shen style is gonna be pretty much the difference here. We're gonna see it during the game itself, so let's wait till these few minutes are gonna get passed. And there you go. I'm sorry, I blinded the lobby and I didn't mean to. Or at least I meant to blind the lobby, but still I forgot to show it after the pre-peeking phase. Alright. So what might it be? What could happen in this game? We have two pretty powerful compositions. On the blue side, we have a hard engage composition, while on the red side, we have a mix of a team fight composition and an engaging composition. For hard engage, I do mean that Cannon is gonna go in, followed up by Victor, or Akron goes in and followed up by Cannon. The overall damage at the start of the fight for the blue team is gonna be pretty huge, while for the red team, it's mostly like picking off the enemy and trying to take them down one by one with the support of Shen and aggressiveness of Rengar. This game could be pretty interesting, especially because there is to think about Rengar. It's going to be an empowered Rengar, because he's gonna land onto the enemies, with Shen's ultimate, and basically Shen himself, and Orianna's Shockwave. In a few words, they're gonna probably give it all to Rengar and make him so much like a crazy powerful engager that it's gonna be really easy for them to find a separated target. Could take some water for me, gonna be right back. We are finally into the game. I repeat, I'm Element Bobby from Element Gaming, and today we are following the Go4Lol ESL tournament number 341. The two teams are going to be Italian Bashers against the 5-minute team. 5-minute team on the red side, Italian Bashers on the blue side. The game seems to be starting pretty much interestingly because the blue team went to the bottom lane side to try and defend against a possible invade, and here goes invade. Pretty much nice damage from this Rengar, starting off with a jump on the Ekarim with no fear at all. The red team wards are spread all over the blue side, and so they will know where Hecarim is gonna start from and where Hecarim is gonna get to. This start is pretty important because Hecarim, it's pretty easy to read if you know where he currently is or where he started off. He's not that fast at doing the jungle, or at least he's not faster at doing the jungle. He's faster at moving around, but indeed he is no difference from a lot of other champions. So, what we need to focus on in this game is gonna be mostly the top lane side and the bottom lane side. Because both these sides are really important, especially Miss Fortune, because Miss Fortune, we know, is gonna be a bet after her change on the queue. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see how she's gonna work as AD carry again. And probably everybody is interested to know what is her base damage going to be changed to. So, 2 minutes into the game, the starting items for the two teams are the two junglers starting off with the Hunter's Talisman. A pretty normal start off because, well, for the Rengar maybe not too much because the Mercedes would be an almost better start. That is my personal opinion. I don't know if the talisman really gives you this much of an advantage at the start, but the Machete is not giving you the same start. But this Rengar decided to start off with that, so let's stick with it, shall we? On the bottom lane side, the red team now is forced to step back a little, especially that Malzahar that is taking a lot of poke from this Miss Fortune. He can consider himself lucky because the Q bouncing doesn't deal that much damage anymore. And he was thrown down to 200 HP only by that. Miss Fortune is starting off with normal Doran as well as Ezreal, so a pretty basic start off for both the teams. No difference by the middle lane, no difference by the top lane with Doran's Blade for the cannon. I am not too much into the full AD cannon, so we will see what she's gonna build getting into the game. 4 minutes, and the start off seems to be a little advantage for this Rengar that cleaned off the jungle pretty fast. A clean off that went from the red side to the blue side, and it gave to this Rengar the chance to go back with a lot more monsters than this Ekarim. Ekarim is still keeping up a lot, as we can see, dealing now with the golems, something that something the Rengar dealt with at the start. Now they engage by the bottom lane side. The death sentence landed on the Malzahar, and Miss Fortune is gonna give the last hit to this mage that couldn't find himself a better position but in front of the hook. Really nicely done by the Trash. Very nice engage there, and especially a really nice follow-up. Malzahar used basically everything as well as Ezreal's heal, but Ezreal's flash obviously it's still there. Trash used only an exhaust, so they still can hardly engage later. Meanwhile, by the top lane side, Shen trying to go aggressive on this Cannon because there is a Rengar on the top lane side. Still nicely done by Cannon, and a punishing trade for this Shen that allows Cannon to breathe a little. So, pretty intense start off. Very well done by the Italian Boxers. It started with a great bottom lane engage. A bottom lane that was pushed back at the start, but then got heavily, let's say, just a cold revenge. Because they managed to get that Malzahar off. Meanwhile, by the top lane side, Cannon already at level 6 managed to land a huge amount of hits on this Shen that is forced under his own tower. Shen, playing with the Doran ring, Doran's shield, still can withstand a lot of this damage because he, if he has a lot of magic resistance, basically, this ultimate from Cannon might be able to save him. No, he can get out, but still, this Shen risks the loss. Very well done by the Cannon so far, because her level 6, he's level 6, sorry, almost managed to pick off both Rengar and Shen. Two champions that obviously have a huge engagement amount of the mage, but if you fight against the Cannon with a level 6, you know that heavy stuns are going to rain down from the sky. Orianna, another champion that it's pretty picked a lot because of her overall abilities. It's a champion that will never get off this meta. It's a champion that will always be played because of her overall damage and abilities, utility, sustain, everything. It's a complete champion that it's really funny to play as well. Meanwhile, by the bottom lane side is a mage onto the Malzahar. He's Fortune can't just stand there and deal nothing, and even with Shen's ultimate, Malzahar is going to go down. Wow, not even the ultimate from this Miss Fortune, just a lot of the mage, a lot of basic attacks that drained Malzahar down instantly. Shen used his ultimate, but even so, Malzahar went down. It's very awesome to see this stretch, especially because he landed another nice hook there. Real now again in a 1-on-2 situation by the bottom lane side. He still is not behind in minions with the minions because he is even advantaged a little. Starting off with the Tear of the Godness. Oh, engaged by the bottom lane side again. A gank from the Rengar that still doesn't know that the Hecarim is in the area. So a death for this Rengar that went a little too greedy in there. Top lane, the situation is going in favor of this Cannon. Shen went for the Bami Cinder. A pretty interesting idea, mostly because a Cinder is pretty good, especially when you try to engage the Cannon. Unfortunately, you cannot engage a Cannon because he deals that much damage. So much damage you can even try to get close, because as soon as you get close, he's just gonna stun you and deal a lot of damage to you. Wow! I really want to know how the crits work on this Q, because she just landed 2 Qs on the Ezreal, and Ezreal basically got drained down from full health to not even half health. I am astonished by this guy. A misfortune that on his effect, obviously, but still, what kind of luck do you need to have if the crates always land like this? I don't know, maybe you have a basic amount of crates that you can almost always land with the Q, I don't know. Or maybe Miss Fortune started off with some crits runes. Would be pretty interesting still to see so many crates coming down with the Q with only crits runes. Engaged by the top lane side, or at least a small trade coming off from this Shen. Shen can start to be a little aggressive here because This is the moment where Shen starts to build both damage and tankiness. Cannon's ultimate isn't anymore a problem to deal with. The only problem that he currently can deal to the enemy is the fact that he started off with the X-Tux revolver. A nice item that makes him basically impossible to take down over time in the laning phase, especially for Shen. Mostly focuses on sustain and slowly draining health to the enemy. The fact that the enemy now currently has more sustain than he has, it's a problem for the Shen. Shen is surely going for the Spirit Visage as one of those items he's gonna build. So we are gonna see pretty soon a really heavily stalled game by the top lane. Meanwhile, by the bottom lane side, very well done so far by the duo of the blue team, where Miss Fortune already built up 3 kills. And the Humus Ghostblade. A Humus Ghostblade, very important, even if in this occasion, we might say that it's not the best item so far. Miss Fortune, basic movement speed, thanks to the passive on the W, it's already a lot. Why would you build a Yumi's Ghostblade when you can deal more damage? Rengar coming in, the ultimate from Shen onto the Rengar himself, trying to build more engaging damage. He can't get on him, but still and goes down to the Ekarim. The engage and the shockwave from the Orianna are going to be enough to take down this Ekarim that now brought his team into the jungle. Goes down. Even Victor, that I don't know why he tried to go in. Oh, stopped there by the Malzar. The ultimate from Cannon. Another ultimate goes off, this time from Miss Fortune. The grab goes onto the Shen Cannon and trash. Take him down. The Israel is going to get out from this, but it's a pretty good trade for the blue team. Even if Victor could have got out easily, he decided to turn and got destroyed by the combination of Malzar and Orianna. I don't know why he turned on that one. Still, it's a 2-4-3. The blue team comes out victorious on this trade in their own jungle. The red team is really trying to go aggressive in here, but they are messing up a lot of things. Just 13 minutes into the game and we have the blue team with 20k gold against a 90 and 300 from the red team. The blue team is taking a lot of advantage, and I am loving to see this trash that keeps on landing hooks over and over again. Even though Malzar has his passive in his favor, during the laning phase, Trash made it like it was nothing. Every single death sentence he threw was fully landing in every way possible. It was really nice to see this Trash working onto the bottom lane side. Top lane side, Cannon and Shen still blocked in there, basically doing nothing so far. A Rengar just came in, unfortunately for him it's warded. And at the same time Shen is pushing with this wave, so there was no need for him to get top at all. But still, Cannon decided to try and clean up the wave pretty fast. Ultimate from Cannon, there might be another stun, the tower dive. Shen is sunk in the tower. Rengar is trying to follow up. Obviously, there is no easy way to get to a Cannon but to just be faster than him. Rengar is no way faster than this Cannon when he is not in his ultimate. The blue team punishing the red team for this gank by the top lane. They take the Ocean Drake. An important Drake for this phase of the game, because the Ocean Drake, the earlier the game it is, the better it is, because it's a huge help in the laning phase. And not only the Drake, but even the middle lane tower, it's going to be the first tower blood here. The blue team is getting a lot of advantage. Might be a try for an engage here. Cannon going onto the Shen, but there is still too much to do, or at least too much damage to do to this guy before he goes down. A blue team that is getting his respectful place into this game. They are doing very well so far. Even if the advantage is not huge, they are showing off a lot of team personality. Let's call it like this. Some trading from Misfortune and Israel. Israel is obviously coming out on with the disadvantage. There might be an engage by the bottom lane side. Orianna, Rengar, Malzar, and Ezreal. Malzar is tanking the tower. I don't know what he's doing, because there is a tower there. Why would you ulti somebody like a tower dialect? Then, wow, the shockwave coming out from Orianna. The kill gets in. Now the flash from the Shen trying to shut down this Akarim that tried to get out, and he manages to. Orianna changed the sides of this fight. Nice shockwave, they shut down this Misfortune instantly. They zook onto the onto the Rengar, sorry. He risks so much with this. A really awesome trash so far, really awesome trash. Rengar trying to get distance from the enemy team, because even Kennen came to the bottom lane side to try and push onto the next tower. Red team is cleaning up a little the jungle, while the blue team is still deciding what to do, because they might try to push down this tower, but it's not that easy of a job, especially now that the top lane tower is pushing. Shen is gonna go there pretty soon, and for this cannon it's a must to get back into the lane, forget those minions especially. Oh, the first hook missed. 7-5, and the red team managed to come back into the game. They even took a little of advantage here, but it's mostly done by the farm here. Ken, Orianna, and Ezreal, all three having a little advantage over the enemy team with the farm. Rengar as well. That is the only way they are keeping up with the blue team. Uh-oh, Kennen. Be careful about this. If there would have been a Rengar as well, it could have been pretty bad for him. This Kennen is playing possibly on a full AP build, and I am loving this idea because it has been a while since the last time I saw that. A Proto Belt as first item, a pretty great idea. Ken, that after building the Spectre Skull, decided to go for the Sunfire Cape. An Ekarim that is going for the Trinity Force before completing the Skirmisher Saber. And now by the top lane, their situation won't be awesome for this Ken, and Orianna coming in as well. The ultimate from Ken and trying to stun down most of the enemy as much as possible, but there should won't be enough damage to take down all of them at the same time. 3 enemies on the red side playing by the top lane side, while 4 of the blue team are pushing by the bottom lane side. They might be able to take not only this tower but even save the second tower, top lane tower, and in fact this is gonna be it. The blue team manages to win this trade by taking 2 towers in a matter of a few seconds against the tower and the kill taken by the red team on the top lane side. Even so, the blue team still is not with a gold advantage. Most of the difference is done by this Rengar, pretty fast at cleaning up the waves and the jungle in the overall. We are at the minute 19 and he has 131 creeps. Basically he has been like farming in a lane for most of the time. On the blue team side, still we have a 4-1-2 Misfortune that managed to complete a Draktar. I don't know why building a Draktar still on the AD carries is a good idea. Even if it's pretty useful, especially for finding those wards around your own jungle. The Draktar right now is not an AD carry item, or at least that's what I do trust. But in this case, it's still taken as an item. Misfortune getting pretty much aggressive onto the Shen. Still there is trash, so Lantern, no worries. 20 minutes into the game. Crystal Scepter for the victor. Pretty nice item. A nice start off for him, especially because for Victor having both utility and the mage is really important. For the Rengar, the Black Cleaver is the idea. And it seems like it worked pretty normally so far. The enemy didn't build that much armor. Still, he can deal a lot of base damage. The shockwave from the around and taking a shrunk damage onto the trash and the cannon. The ultimate from his fortune and getting himself the tower dive from the red team. It's a Shen against 4 of the enemy team. Unfortunately, he's gonna kill down. Ekarim on the opposite side went down as well. Misfortune, Flash, and Death Ray from this Victor that now is chasing down onto the Ezreal. Rengar is pushing down the top lane because he knows that he can't do anything else but do so. The blue team now will be trying to both push by the middle lane side and chase down the enemy, maybe? I don't know. Victor is going around with no vision at all. It's team against Rengar. Magnetic field. He's gonna be able to shut down the Rengar, but it's real. It's still a little too much. Unfortunately for this Ezreal, the cannon is there, and it's gonna be over in a second. Very nicely done by the blue team that got 4 kills or 5 kills. 4 kills. No, it was 5 kills. It was 5 kills. Got basically an ace from this fight. Even if the red team managed to do a really nice starting engage, unfortunately, Rengar decided to go so aggressive at the start. He didn't have any huge follow-up by his own team. Shen then went so deep into the enemy towers that he got heavily punished for that. There is a huge difference between the two teams. The red team seems to be a little off coordination, while the blue team is working a lot with the teamwork, and that is what's making this game really interesting. We are seeing a really nice red team that is playing with a lot of self-defense, let's call it like this, against a blue team that is going aggressive for the objectives, but at the same time it seems like they are not able to properly engage the red team somehow. Then by the bottom lane side might be able to take down this tower pretty soon. He probably is gonna do so. The blue team now needs to find a new target, and that might be the top lane tower, because there is a huge wave of minion coming right there. And there is even a Rengar right there. That is something you really don't want to know about, especially for Rengar. The engage and the kill onto the Victor was so fast that I didn't even have the chance to say something about it. The red team now chases down on a blue team that really had a bad positioning here. I did not say anything in this part because it was basically useless to speak about what the blue team was doing. A blue team that tried to go by the top lane from the wrong side, and the Victor got punished for it. And the red team managed to obtain this Baron, and unfortunately for the blue team, this is not going good at all. The middle lane tower, first tire is gonna go down. Possibly even the second tire. Not sure. No, they are not gonna be pushing for the second tire middle lane. Three towers to 3 towers. The only time the red team showed off a little of powerful engage, they managed to obtain a 5,000 gold advantage. Kills to 12 kills. Seems like it's an even situation, but it's actually not. Orianna right now is pretty huge, and the Ludenseco and Morel Omicron, he is a powerhouse, especially with the coordination with Shen and Rengar. I guess this Victor really wants to die. He got lucky. Orianna didn't use her shockwave. Because else this Victor once again was going to get destroyed. Another shockwave there. The ultimate from Rengar is gonna probably take down the Misfortune. Ultimate from Cannon. Orianna with 100 health. Trash goes down as well. The middle lane, sorry, the bottom lane tower probably is gonna be taken down, and there it goes. There was no Victor, there was no Hecarim. The red team just had to take down what they had in front of them. And this is exactly what I did. Oh, Hecarim going on to the Malzahar that was tanking the tower. He could do nothing basically, but still the Hecarim goes down as well. The red team now is pushing down the bottom lane inhibitor tower. And there is 30 seconds for both Hecarim and Victor, but still Trash and Misfortune are back alive. Misfortune going on to the Rengar. Still she's taking a lot of damage from the Ezreal. A series of trade, Flash and Exec from the Cannon. Oh, then awesome Q from this Ezreal, and the damage from this Ezreal is so much, and even the Cannon just got destroyed right now. There is not a lot the blue team can do right now. Just less than 10 seconds for Victor and Hecarim to come back, but they are gonna lose probably 3 inhibitors because the red team still has the Baron here. Hecarim sees the fact that he cannot jump onto the enemy team. Death Ray and some poking coming down from the Victor, but unfortunately for them, it's 3 inhibitors down. The blue team played a lot on the objectives in this early and mid game, but 27 minutes into the game and the red team destroyed everything they could. But the Nexus, obviously. There is a Cloud Drake alive right now. Might be... yeah, it's gonna be the red team's objective right now. The first Drake that goes into the red team's hands, because the other 2 Drakes got captured by the blue team. 2 Oceanic Drakes against 1 Cloud Drake. This Ezreal's damage is pretty heavy. I do trust that the idea of picking Misfortune as a carry was not that great, unfortunately. Even if she managed to deal a lot of damage by the early game in the bottom lane side, laning phase, it's pretty useless right now because with the Rengar and the Shen, you really need to get a lot of peeling gear. Cannon trying to engage. Zhonya and ultimate. She can only lock down the Rengar for a second. Meanwhile, Victor is getting locked down by Malzahar. He probably is gonna get destroyed, and there goes Cannon first. Shen ultimate going on to the Orianna, and Ezreal is doing a cleanup here. He kills even Victor in the fun zone. 3 kills for this Ezreal. Only 1 death from the red team. It's gonna be the Malzahar, but still they win the game. 29 minutes, and the team 5 minutes gets to the next stage. Really nicely done. I really am amazed by how greatly they managed to come back, or mostly to show off during this late game phase. They managed to throw everything that the blue team managed to gather up away and gain a huge advantage in a matter of seconds. With few engages, few good kills, they turned around this game, or mostly they managed to take by force the tides of this game. And in the end, the red team, the 5 minutes team, comes out victorious with a huge with a huge victory at 29 minutes. A very nice first turn game. You do not always get to see awesome games at the start of this tournament, because most of the really powerful powerhouse teams play against each other in the finals. But in this case, we managed to see a really interesting game. The team Italian Bashers unfortunately got thrown out, mostly because of the personal experience that the team 5 minutes possibly has, judging by what I saw. But I gotta say that the Italian Bashers have a lot of way to improve. If they manage to force the team 5 minutes into a lot of corners during this game, they can still improve a lot for the next tournaments. I saw a lot of difference of personal skills here. But we could all see how the team Italian Bashers managed to obtain all those objectives by moving together. So we're gonna take a brief pause, and well, I'm gonna tell you pretty soon which game we're gonna follow next. So see you in a few minutes.
what you've been looking for. Trust me, I don't wanna feel no more. Never mind. I'm thinking out loud before we draw a crowd. Reel it in, take it easy. There's no need to scream and shout. As far as I can see, my head thinking it's time for you to leave in peace. As far as I can see, my head thinking it's time for you to leave in peace. Never mind. I'm thinking out loud before we draw a crowd. Reel it in, take it easy. There's no need to scream and shout. As far as I can see, my head thinking it's time for you to leave in peace. As far as I can see, my head thinking it's time for you to leave in peace. In peace now. In peace now. Lights out, lying in your arms, and these feelings start to change. One look into your eyes, and I'm floating far away. I've never been here before. I don't know the
Welcome back, everybody. Here, Element Bobby from Element Gaming, and today we are following the 31st, sorry, game. Oh wow! All right. Well, what a start! I was saying today we are following the 41st Go4Lol ESL tournament. We are following the second round where the HQ Esports are going to play against the private. I'm gonna call them the private because they are an Hungarian group that I really can't nominate because it's too long as a name and I really don't know how to pronounce it. Still, the HQ Esports is going to play their first game today, while the private are basically in the second game. From what I heard, the first game they played against was against a team called Haywire, and it was a really long game. And what I heard was that it lasted for more than 50 minutes, so this game might be really interesting. I want to see what both teams can do and what they can bring into this second round. Starting off with the bands, once again we see bands Graves and Evern for the blue team, and a Kog'Maw as third band, while on the red side, Rengar, Camille, and the third band is going to be Kha'Zix. Really, 6 bands that I do not find Yeah, I know, Josh. I calling them privates because I don't know how to say that. You know, I'm not Hungarian or whatever. I'm really sorry if I can't do that. try, try to teach me when you have time, okay? So, oh wait, I'm gonna use Google Translate. Give me a second. Let me find private detecte. Private detecte. Is that it? Private detecte. Private detecte. I don't know. It is hard. Stal. Okay, Stal, it's easy. By the way, let's get into the picks. We got for the blue team, Malzar, Shen, and Caitlyn might be the pick. Still, Malzar and Shen, once again, in the same team, a really strong combination for engages. Nobody is really shocked by those two picks because Malzar is either banned or picked as a support because his Void Link's damage is still high, even if he got nerfed a little. His ultimate is still worth to be used for engaging, and especially it's awesome for appealing the AD carry. And combining it with a Caitlyn, you know that you are not gonna move for at least the whole game, maybe. On the red side, we're gonna see Lulu as support, possibly. Lee Sin in the jungle. Orianna might be one of the two picks, and Lucian possibly going to be the AD carry for the team. Either Lucian or it's real. I hope that is gonna be the pick. And come on. There you go. It's gonna be Lucian. Loving Lucian. Loving the Lucian especially because with that moving in the overall, he's able to dodge most of Caitlyn's spells. Even if we know Caitlyn, it's really hard to deal with because of her range. Still, a Lucian, it's good as a pick against the Malzar. Lucian's spells loves to add up the quicksilver. And well, when you get to play against a Caitlyn, you really want some dodging onto those net and Qs. An idea that I do find especially important for the Lucian is the ultimate that works well even against the Malzar passive. So, on the red team, yeah, I say it about Lucian, I say it about Lee Sin. Lulu might be the support for this Lucian, and it's really a good pick against the Malzar. And Oriana, still, as I said, an always in meta champions that can fill up any hole. On the blue team, completing the composition are going to be Gragas and Syndra, a really huge amount of engage and disengage here, because with the Shen, with the Malzar, the Gragas jungler, and the middle lane Syndra, you have nowhere to go. And Sion might be a really nice decision. The ring, the part that completes the ring, because Sion unstoppable charge nullifies every single possibility to try and disengage from both Syndra and Gragas. And that works even awesomely with the Oriana's ultimate, because everybody knows Oriana's ultimate works well with people engaging the enemy. Lee Sin might be one of those, but Sion, in this case, might be one of the best case. Sion's ultimate, as I said, it's really awesome, especially against all that disengage. Still, Sion is a champion that I don't know if really came back into the meta, because we saw a lot of top laners, huge tankiness like the Shen, like the Poppy, or either a huge amount of the mage top laners like the Cannon, or even sometimes the Jace. In this case, we are dealing with a full tank, a Sion, that still can go on the mage, but it's really important to know how to play, especially by the early game. Because sorry, not the early game, the late game and engaging phase. Because in the laning phase, he basically is ungankable. It's really hard to gank him when he gets to level 6. He needs to be able to stop his ultimate and all that stuff. So who knows what might happen during this game, especially by the top lane. I really am not that hugely interested by the middle lane compositions recently, because it's always the same thing. Oriana against Syndra, Syndra against Oriana, or other champions, but still against either Oriana or Syndra. The only thing that might give a little bit of spicy into the middle lane are always the Lee Sin, sorry, not the Lee Sin, are always the junglers and the way they behave while ganking into the middle lane. Syndra is really hard to gank, especially for champions that do not have huge engages, but that's not the case for Lee Sin, because he has a lot of close gapping that makes him pretty hard to deal with, especially for a Syndra. And on the other side, Oriana can play so defensively that even if you try to gank her, she's gonna be under her own tower almost already. Really hard to gank both of these champions, so it's really important to be good and have the best timing when you go and try to gank their lanes. So, 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm gonna wait till the time goes off. I'm gonna see you in a few seconds as soon as the game starts. And we are almost back because the game has been paused at 9 seconds into it. I'm Element Bobby from Element Gaming, and today we are following the 341st game. I will get it right. I will them get it right at least once. The 341st ESL tournament Go4Lol. This is the second round game. We are following the HQ Esports on the right side against the private detective. Oh no! Oh god! Now I get it. Now I've always thought it was like an Hungarian word or something like that, but now I get it. The private detective. Oh jeez. Okay, I'm out of this. Still, we're gonna follow these two teams, one against the other. The HQ Sports on the red side, while the private detective on blue side. There might be a really bad idea, and there goes Graga's belly jump. Stuns both Lulu and Lucian. Still, only Lulu's flash is taken, nothing else. Still worth as a trade because we are not even 1 minute into the game. The counter jungle try, or at least not even the counter jungle, the face checking from this Lulu was too much. There is a problem here because the red team is still into the enemy jungle, this time on the opposite side, and Shen got some few hits there. Still, he managed to avoid the red team from stealing the blue buff, even if the blue buff has been awarded. Gragas moved onto the blue buff, and this is something that I don't know if was thought about. I mean, the red team placed a ward onto the blue buff, so they currently can see that Gragas is doing it. Even so, I don't know if that's what they meant to do. I mean, the ward was placed there possibly to see when Gragas was going to get there, or if Gragas was going to get there, yes or no. Still, I thought it was about counter jungling, mostly about Lee Sin going to get the blue buff. But let's not speak too much about it. Let's go back into the game. 2 minutes and the start was pretty rough, let's say it like this. Lulu with no flash and an ignite. So no exhaust in the bottom lane side, and that's a pretty interesting decision because against a Caitlyn, I would love to play with the exhausts. So, yeah, answering to the chat, these are not Italian teams. This is an international tournament, so basically the teams I'm streaming might and might not be Italians depending on what I say at the start. Or mostly depending on which teams are actually playing. So I usually say at the start which teams are playing. This time are playing a German team and an Hungarian team. I do trust it's Hungarian. The HQ Sports is the German team. Lee Sin ganking the bottom lane side, manages to land the Q, the Sonic. I was about to call it the Sonic boom. But still, a lot of damage coming out, but the counter damage from both Malzahar and Caitlyn, it's pretty much a lot. Risking a lot, this Lucian, I don't know what he's thinking. Getting a lot of hits. It might be flash and barrel on the head. This Lucian paid a lot the price of getting so much greedy. Nicely timed by the Gragas, but very badly done by the Lucian there. No, nope, they are not Italian teams. No, non sono team italiani, Jolly. Sì, Jolly. So, the blue team managed to clean up this bottom lane, or at least managed to get this slow advantage that it will come handy a lot in the few next minutes, because we know that the Gragas, if gets, let's say, fed, becomes both tanky and damaging at the same time. You do really not want to fight a fed Gragas, especially if he's jungler and in the early game phase. Gragas with 1 kill for now. A small advantage. Lee Sin tried to do what he could to keep alive the Lucian, but especially he tried what he could on dealing enough damage to the bottom lane side. Unfortunately, playing against a Malzahar in the early game is not easy. Both for the Void Links and the Silence, that really makes the difference at the start. By the top lane side, very well done so far by the Sion, that is putting a lot of pressure onto this Shen. Sorry, not a Gragas. A Sion that started off with 3 rejuvenation beads. Something like that. It's not really... it's not really a usual start you see. Yes, there are Italian teams in this tournament. I streamed one earlier, the Italian bashing team, but they lost against the Team 5 Minutes. There are still other Italian teams. We are still in the second round, so I might go to find them for the next games. But I still am not entirely sure if they are gonna pass or not, so I'm gonna tell you before the next game starts. A red team on the bottom lane side is doing pretty well right now, even if they started off with a slow start. Lucian is putting a lot of pressure over the Caitlyn. This passive onto the Lucian really helps off against these Voidlings, because let's remember not for long for a second, because we got a Gragas by the bottom lane side. Lee Sin comes handsy for a second there. Sion uses his ultimate to stop Shen. Oh wow! Oh, the belly stun from the Gragas prevents him from getting killed by the Lee Sin. Still, Lucian manages to take a kill on this Caitlyn with a nice combo there and a flash used to land the final hit. 1-on-1 by the top lane side, still ongoing with a pretty powerful trade there. Meanwhile, by the middle lane side, Orianna was so close to getting the kills. This Lucian damage is so high right now. Lee Sin by the bottom lane side, very nice counter ganking there. He even risked a lot because of that belly stun by the Gragas. I really am shocked by what happened there. But at the same time, the trade came to an end with the red team coming out with a really awesome kill from this Lucian. Lucian that in this early game is starting to build up so much damage onto the Q. And this time is Orianna by the middle lane side using her shockwave, but it might not be enough, and it's not enough. Still, it's enough to be forcing Syndra to use her flash. Very awesome so far, 8 minutes. And by using this flash Syndra now, it's a possible next victim for this Lee Sin. That even if with the first gank couldn't manage to do a lot, with the second gank he turned back and basically said, I'm gonna make a lot in this game. Sion is not even building anything with those rejuvenation beads. He just is going for the Sunfire Cape. And completely ignoring the fact that he has 150 base health regen. That might build up in some new item. Who knows, or at least let's see during the game what he's gonna do with those 3. Middle lane, Negatron for this Orianna, going very passive onto the Syndra. Syndra that is obviously starting with the... Alright, nice, with the Morel Omicron. So... I was forgetting in the name, that is why I say okay, nice. Still, Orianna is with a little advantage there. Because Syndra couldn't manage to buy anything huge, but an amplifying tome, while Orianna managed to get the Negatron cloak. And this is gonna surely make the difference for now, because having a Negatron cloak against obviously a small amplifying tome, the difference is huge here. By the bottom lane side, once again, this Lucian forces the Malzahar to flash because his ultimate was basically a summoning base. No flash for the Syndra, by the way, in the middle lane. And that's how she goes down again. The red team is slowly and painfully getting a lot of advantage here. Top lane side, Sion against Shen is the only lane that is really not taking that much of a difference. Shen, still it's kind of obvious because we got a Shen, a huge tank against another huge tank, so we know what happens when two tanks collide in laning phase. Gragas trying to find an opening for stealing this Drake, but there is not gonna be any. Lee Sin secures it pretty easily. Infernal Drake going into the red team's hands. Lucian starting off with the Blade of the Ruin King. A really interesting decision, but at the same time a pretty normal one because you got Gragas against and a Shen against. And the only one that currently is handling, or at least giving a lot of trouble, is the Gragas. And as I said before, Gragas becomes a troublesome champion. Oh wow, nice Zinsack here by the Lee Sin, but it's still not enough to kill yet. The Syndra and Orianna risked a lot of tower hits getting into the red team, and both Orianna and Lee Sin are going out with a few health. They didn't make too much the calculation because that Syndra managed to get out still alive from that, managed to ult the Orianna, but especially almost killed the Orianna, even if Orianna used her exhaust to prevent Syndra from one-shotting her. Even if Syndra is slowly falling behind, still a problem to fight against her. 100 minions for the Orianna against the 74 for the Syndra. Orianna managed to complete the dose of magic penetration, while Syndra is still locked down on the Morelomicon. The 12 minutes game right now, and we can see a lot of laning phase difference, especially between the middle lane and the bottom lane. The top lane is pretty much tied, but there is no point for a Shen to be playing actually a Shen if you have no huge carries on your side that are able to land a lot of hits. You are able to get your carries fed at the start. Oh, pretty close there. Meanwhile, the engage on the Gragas on the Lulu using her ultimate. Sion coming in with the teleport. He doesn't stop it. I don't know why he's still there. Ultimate from Sion. 2 on 3. Sion getting a lot of mage using his flash. Flash Shen down from the Shen. Going on to the Lulu that he's gonna go down. Meanwhile, the blue team still manages to take down Sion as well. It's gonna be a 2-4-0 trade, and the blue team slowly comebacks into the game with a really nice engage by the bottom lane side. Sion decided to go in even if there was no follow-up. Meanwhile, Lee Sin, the mage, it's so huge. He's gonna kick Syndra to the death. Very awesome so far, and unfortunately for Syndra, this situation is just getting worse and worse. Lee Sin's mage got built up so much that he's basically soloing her. Ultimate from this Caitlyn, minion saves her, and arresting pieces Lucian that tried to go too aggressive there. Lucian's damage is so much, but still he's playing too much aggressively here. Orianna just smashing down this tower because, well, there is nobody defending it. Syndra is getting herself against not only Orianna, even in a one-on-one she's not able to take down the Lee Sin so far. The Lee Sin is doing pretty well. That's destroyed that middle lane side, and that's exactly what he was supposed to do so far. Gragas is the only one that the blue team currently can hugely count on, because thanks to the fact that he has been a huge help for this bottom lane side, might be a life savior for this game, especially because Caitlyn is literally the only option they currently have to be able to save this game, because Syndra is getting heavily shut down for now. Managing to throw Caitlyn's late game into the mid game might be the best idea so far, but the problem is that the red team, it's pretty much self-confident here. And engage goes there, might be a kill onto the Lee Sin. Syndra is gonna get the kill with the ultimate, and Gragas now goes 1-on-2 against the Orianna and the Lulu. Orianna is forced to stay nearby, the flash goes off, the flash over the wall, and now there is a Shen chasing on them. Then you do not have that much health, you might not want to do that, and that is exactly what happened. And now Sion is focusing himself on taking down the tower by the top lane side. Shen is playing too much uncarefully here, is giving the enemy too much time to think what to do. Syndra's the mage managed to shut down that Lee Sin finally after 15 minutes of pain. The problem is that with this teleport, Shen just gave up the top laner, the top lane tower, the tier 1 tower. So this is first blood tower here. Ultimate from the Shen onto the Malzahar bottom lane side. The sound goes in, and the ultimate from the Caitlyn trying to shut down the enemy team. There is no teleport available for the Sion, so it's a 4-on-3, but the red team still is at advantage because the blue team has been drained a lot so far. Especially the Malzahar that luckily got out from this fight. There is still no teleport for the Sion, even if he's coming up in less than 10 seconds or 20 seconds. He decides to not keep on pushing by the top lane side, and he has the ultimate available, so he might be going for the bottom lane right now. Meanwhile, Shockwave by the middle lane, it's a death sentence onto this Syndra that goes down once again. 1-4-0 for this Syndra that is getting destroyed by the middle lane side. Orianna that is 3-0-0 has even a 40 minions advantage here. The Ocean Drake is gonna get taken by the red team, and it's gonna be the second Drake of the game. The blue team really needs to find a way to recover into this game because they are falling too much behind. More than 40 objectives in the overall, they are fighting always with someone behind. Especially with the Malzahar that is not able to fight off this Lucian, as well as Caitlyn. Syndra can do a lot in this game, or at least can do a lot for now. Mostly she needs to get the support from this Gragas, trying to pick off enemies and cut them down instantly. Orianna might not be the best idea, because thanks to the Negatron, Orianna it's hard to be dealt with, especially by both Gragas and Syndra. Lee Sin might be the best idea, as we could see during the engage, pretty close to the bottom, sorry, to the middle lane side and the red side. But still, right now it's not that easy, obviously, to pick off that Lee Sin. So I am trying to find a way to engage onto this Syndra, but the timing onto that ultimate and in the aura was too slow. What are you doing, Caitlyn? Risking so much. The ultimate coming out from Lucian almost lands all the bullets, and he is forced to flash to take down the Caitlyn. That was pretty much dead. Let's call it like this. Yeah, sad. Blue team now needs to focus on defending the middle lane tower where the red team is trying to push. The sound goes on to the Orianna. Gragas manages to land onto her, and even the Syndra's ultimate was thrown. Still, Orianna managed to tank a lot of this. Now Gragas and Shen against the Sion. Count goes in, or even Malzar comes in. The red team still is pushing by the bottom lane side, and that is a problem because if the bottom lane side goes down, it's still not going to be that huge of an advantage. I do trust that Shen just disconnected. Seems like the blue team didn't notice. There you go, finally they noticed. Let's make a recap for now. 30,000 gold for the blue team against the 34, or better, 35,000 gold for the red team. 4 towers are down. The red team pushed down the bottom lane side so much that now they are knocking at the blue team's door. Lucian is huge. Lucian is really a powerhouse right now, and you cannot deal with him that easily because his base damage and overall damage became so great. It doesn't matter if you are Shen, you are still going down in a few seconds. Black Cleaver and Blade of the Rune King are the 2 items built by him. On the other hand, or at least on the other side, Caitlyn is going obviously for the Hurricane, and with the BF sword she might be going for an Infinity Edge. Unfortunately for her, this situation really doesn't work out with this build, or at least a lot of champions would focus on getting some more lethality because the situation is heavily against you. But for a Caitlyn it's not that easy because there is not too many items you can think of, or at least you can build. Because a Caitlyn really needs to focus on that Hurricane and that Infinity Edge. Ben is going aggressive here, might want to engage them because most of the blue team is there. Barely misses the Lulu and the Orianna. Still, the red team is moving around the area and they might want this fight. They might want to pick this fight here because the Lucian is still far off the map. Getting by the middle lane side right now. The stun goes on to the Lulu. The Gragas manages to pick her off and the stun lands for a kill to the Caitlyn. That is the 3rd kill for her. 127 minions adding up with the 3 kills and 2 assists. Are still far behind from 184 minions. Oh, the belly stun from the Gragas. The ultimate from the Orianna onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn is still heavily alive and the Shen down goes in. Now it's Lucian's time. The stun goes in and the kill goes to the Caitlyn. It gets a double here and the blue team turns this around. And they might really want to, I don't know, maybe take the Baron. But it seems like it's not the best idea they had so far because they are pushing by the middle lane tower. There is a lot of minions by the bottom lane. Stein is trying to engage here. I don't know why the ultimate's onto the enemy team. And Lulu goes down because Shen's down managed to get both Sion and Lulu. And the blue team now has a lot of time to think about what to do. They might have wanted a Baron, but they decided not to go for it and instead to go for the middle lane tower. And there is a Drake coming up right now, but there is a full raging red team coming from the blue side of the jungle. And yes, the red team possibly is going to capture this 2nd Infernal Drake. Ending up with the Ocean Drake, they got a 2nd Drake. The blue team really did a poor job on warding here, but not only warding, the overall controlling this side of the map. They knew that the Drake was coming. I don't know why they decided to just go back and let them get that Drake so easily. It was still a fight with a 4-on-5, or at least it was maybe even a 3-on-5 at the start. So they literally gave up that Drake. That was a pretty important Drake, especially. Shen was by the top lane, might be chased down by the red team. Still, he's a Shen. He's gonna go down really slowly. The red team is still chasing. Lee Sin is going on to the Malzar here. The engage, the silence goes in. And the ultimate Shen might be saving him with his own ultimate. Stand United helps him out. And might be a kill for this Syndra. And yes, it is. Really nicely done by the Shen that saves Malzar's life. And not only, but even gives to his Syndra, mage carry, this important kill. Because as I said before, for a Syndra it's really important to be taking kills like this, the stealing kills literally, because it's the only way she currently has to come back into the game. 171 minions, she's coming back even with the farm. The problem is that Orianna still is far ahead from her. 2 kills against 3, but not only 30 minions difference and a lot of experience there is making the difference in the overall. 13 are the kills for the blue team, but they can't be felt by the red team right now. 2k of gold. It's the difference between the red team and the blue team. And even the 3 drakes. The 3 drakes which of which 2 are infernal drakes. So the damage from the red team even is higher than it should be. So what could the blue team do right now would be to keep on doing the game like this, on picking off enemy and keep on giving them to the Syndra. The Syndra is surely the only champion that right now can give some space to the Caitlyn, especially because of the Lucian's damage in the overall. 25 minutes into the game with 13 kills. The blue team still has no advantage at all. And both the red team carries, Lucian and Orianna, are pretty fearful. Two towers went down by the bottom lane side for the blue team and against the blue team, sorry, and 1 in the middle lane side. And now the red team wants to go into this middle lane tower. My spectate stops for a second, but it came back to life instantly. And I saw a risking... oh wow! The Gragas coming from the backside, stunning 3 of the enemy team. Trying to engage there, the shockwave onto 3 guys. This Orianna really destroying the blue team. The redemption coming to try and save the day. Sion it's against 4 of the blue team. The ultimate from the Lucian, but he gets destroyed by the Sion that gets a double kill into this fight. And now the blue team needs to use this advantage to be pushing by the middle lane and the top lane, or mostly try to get some huge objectives such as the Baron, because they have the time, they have the seconds to try and clean up something, but it seems like they are not wishing to do anything about it. There is the bottom lane pushing thanks to the Zuzurot portal that Sion placed a while ago. But the blue team really is not using this occasion. They came back into life with this fight. Syndra destroyed this Lucian that went out of position for just a second there. She managed to end the Liandry. That is a pretty important item against the Sion, and that is probably how she managed to get the kill over him. Sion that went not only for the Zuzurot, but even for the Knight's Bow. A support item that surely it's pretty much worth to be using for a Sion in this game. Caitlyn managed to end the Infinity Edge, and it seems like she's going for a Maw of Malmortius, judging from the items she bought already. And that is a pretty interesting decision here, because Maw of Malmortius against the enemy team might not be that kind of item you want. Or might be that she's going for the Quicksilver and something else. But I don't know, it's a pretty interesting choice here, we're gonna see soon. Lee Sin misses that Q so close to the Malzar. A resonating strike that missed by an inch, by a pixel. And could have been a way to engage the blue team. Oh, Malzar, you do not want to go AFK in such an occasion. The flash from the Syndra saves her from the Shockwave, and another ultimate from this Orianna destroys Lucian. They got stunned by the Gragas engage and the Malzar's ultimate. He really needs to find a way to reposition himself because he got destroyed in these two last fights. Now the red team is fourth again behind, or at least on their own half of the map. Seems like Lucian is complaining about something. Lucian is complaining about I was stuck for no reason, but it seems like he didn't notice that Syndra stuns him, then Gragas stuns him, and then Malzar stuns him. By the way, the blue team finally decided to go for an objective here. They are going for the Baron. Shen using his Sandy Knight onto the Gragas inside the Baron pit. The ultimate from the side, and they need to take down this Baron before the red team comes in. The shutdown from the Orianna, and the Baron goes into the blue team and still. But it's 3 heals for now for the red team. Shen is still alive. Syndra is trying to take some spacing there. I don't know if the blue team might be able to use this Baron, the Shockwave here, but it's still hard to take down this Shen that is so tanky. The Syndra managed to get back to the base, and this is important because it's the only Baron buff they currently have. If they manage to save the Syndra, they might be able to push back as soon as the rest of his own team, of her team, comes back. A 30 minutes game that is getting pretty interesting. 4 Drakes for the red team. One is an Oceanic Drake. And there goes Lucian one-on-one. His ultimate goes in. Ultimate even from the Syndra. But he can't care less because he has a Lulu behind him that ults him. And there goes even Malzar, destroyed by the Lucian. Flash and engage from the Lucian that still wants this kill onto the Caitlyn. It's a triple. And now the red team is the one pushing. And I do trust this game is probably gonna end soon. Gragas getting pushed out from his own towers by the Lee Sin, and the Lucian going aggressive now because he can. Ken surely has no chances getting out of this alive. Shockwave misses, but this is the end of this game, and the HQ Esports are going into the next round, taking down the private detective that I really can't nominate at all. Really nice game here. We saw a lot of interesting engages from the blue team. Still, it's another example of how the opposite team, or at least even if you get a lot of nice engages over and over again, the red team still managed to come back somehow, or mostly keep that advantage to be able to destroy the blue team at the end of the game. This was a really nice game. I am really mostly shocked by all that damage that the Lucian was able to throw off at the end of the game. So I really am looking forward to see if other teams are going to use the same strategy, and especially how the opposite teams are going to play against them. We're gonna be right back. I'm gonna find the next game to stream, so give me a few minutes. We're gonna see you later.
so bright.